Good morning. Today is May 13th, 2020. It's school dismissal day number 38. Beautiful day today. Uh, we have a week and one day left in the school year. And I'd like to share a quick message that comes from a program called Why Try. It's a wonderful program and designed to help students to develop resilience and grit in their lives. There's this concept within the program called the wall, and the wall is a metaphor for something that is difficult in life, some challenge, something that uh, potentially can keep someone from progressing. So when you think about the wall, we all have them, and it could represent family problems. It could represent having failed at something that we tried. It could represent a problem with alcohol or drugs. It could represent a family member who has a problem with alcohol and drugs. Uh, it could also represent a world situation that is problematic, like coronavirus and school dismissal. So, as you can see, a person uh, faced with a wall has a choice. They can either stare at the wall and stand there, focus completely on that wall and all that it represents and let it consume them. And in that situation, the person stands there staring at the wall, and that's the end of it. Nothing else happens. Uh, However, if we uh, begin to uh, take steps and do something positive, ultimately the goal is to stand on top of the wall. When we're on top of the wall, we have a view of what's possible. We can see the opportunities in front of us. No longer is life about the wall, it's about what's beyond the wall. And so this is something that we are actively trying to teach the students, especially in the after-school program, and we're encouraging this type of lesson in our classrooms. Um, I'd like to share with you the story of Sylvester Stallone. Uh, I've shared this before with fifth graders, and unfortunately only a handful of them ever heard of Sylvester Stallone. I think that's a great parental failure on their parents' fault, but Sylvester Stallone, obviously a huge movie star, and you look at the guy, at all of the things that he's done and accomplished, and the movies that he's made, and the household name that he is, and you think, wow, the guy is lucky. Well, the story is actually quite amazing and has been an inspiration for me uh, for many, many years. So here's the origin story of the guy named Sylvester Stallone. He went to a movie once when he was young, and he felt something in the theater. And as he was there watching this movie, he realized that whoever made this movie had the power to influence him and to inspire him to do something positive. And so he set that goal for himself very young, that he wanted to inspire people through movies. When he was born, he was stuck in the birth canal, and back in those days they used the huge forceps that were kind of like big, humongous pliers. They attached those to his head and pulled him out of the birth canal, and by doing so, it kind of made his face a little bit crooked. Um, he looked kind of, his face was a little lopsided, and he talked funny, and he was made fun of a lot growing up. Um, After he graduated from high school, he decided to go start, being in movies. He wanted to be an actor and get started out that way. And he was thrown out of agent offices 1,500 times is the estimate. Some of the agent offices multiple times. He was facing a wall. The wall is he's got a dream and nothing's happening. He's trying and trying and trying, and think about failing 1,500 times. That's very discouraging. Now, a lot of people would stare at the wall and stay there saying, life's not fair. But Sylvester Stallone's story, as you can imagine, doesn't stop there. He ends up in a situation where he is starving. He doesn't have a penny. He couldn't pay for the heat in his apartment that he was eventually going to lose because he didn't have any money. So he tried to think of one place where he could go to get warm in the middle of winter, and he found the public library. He went in there only because it was a warm place and it was free. When he sat down, he found a chair and there was a book sitting on the chair. He moved the book so that he could sit down, and the book in his hand was a book of the collection of works from Edgar Allan Poe. He read those and felt the same thing reading those words as he felt in the movie theater. He realized that this was powerful. Someone had the ability to inspire him in a positive way, and so he decided, maybe I could do that. Since I am not being selected to star in any movies and I'm not getting any acting jobs, maybe I could write my own movie and script. So he began to take action, refused to stand there staring at the wall and saying, woe is me. Instead, he took positive action and went to the top of the wall. He saw opportunities in the challenges. So he moved to California. He had only one friend in the world, and that was his dog. You can see the dog there. He was in a situation where financially he couldn't feed himself or his dog. He felt terrible for his dog, and he was faced with this terrible option of selling his dog so that he could eat. He stood outside a store and he sold the dog for $25. He stood there waiting, and finally somebody came along and wouldn't pay $50, wouldn't pay $30, but he said, I'll pay $25 for this dog. He sold his best friend in the world for $25. It was one of the worst days of his life, he said, and he is at that time facing another wall. Lots of problems. However, he happened to be somewhere where he could see a TV when there was a boxing match going on. It was Muhammad Ali versus Chuck Wepner. Most people know of Muhammad Ali, but nobody knows who Chuck Wepner is. That's because his only claim to fame is that he didn't get knocked out by Muhammad Ali, even though he got beat on severely. So, Sylvester Stallone's watching this fight and is inspired, and he's just interested in this Chuck Wepner, and the guy just wouldn't quit, wouldn't give up. He sat down with a yellow notepad and he wrote for 20 hours straight. And again, instead of focusing on the problems, he decided to do something positive. So now he's on the wall. He sees opportunity. The script that he wrote became known as the movie Rocky, but when he took it to all the movie companies, nobody wanted that script. Again, a familiar feeling by now. He's going around to everybody and nobody wants the script. However, finally, he gets offered something. Somebody sees something valuable in this script, and they say, this is actually a really good script. It's moving, it's inspiring, and they wanted to offer him $120,000. Now this is a guy that doesn't have any money. He says, well, the condition is, this is great. I want to sell this for 120,000, but here's the condition. I have to star in the movie. I have to be Rocky. Well, they said, no way, you're not an actor. You're a writer. Clearly, this is great writing, but you're not an actor. So they wouldn't do it. But he stays on top of the wall. He just sees opportunity. Pretty soon they call him back and they offer him $250,000 not to star in the movie that he wrote. He turned them down because he's on top of the wall. He sees the opportunity. He sees what he wants. They came back and offered $325,000. He said, no. They finally came up with a compromise. They said, okay, we'll pay you $35,000 and a share of the proceeds that the movie makes, because we don't believe that this is going to do very well. Now, if we could hire somebody else to star in the movie, it would do really well, but you're not an actor, so it's not going to do well. We're not going to invest that much in it. They spent $1 million to make the movie. History was made when they earned $200 million from the movie, and the movie won an Oscar. Huge success because of his determination to stay on top of the wall. So as we face our challenges and as our students face their challenges, it's just so critical that we take the initiative to do something positive and help our students, help each other to get on top of that wall and see the opportunities that each of the challenges that life brings offers. Thank you so much for doing this. You are already helping. You are doing hundreds of things. We get reports daily of gratitude from people who appreciate the work that you are doing and the help that you're providing. Let's continue to take positive action and stay on top of our own walls and help others to do the same. Have a great day.